The B58 engine is officially installed. I need to drill one hole right here. So there you have it. Hello guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to an exciting episode from Salvage Nation. In the last episode on my building a BMW M140 from the ground up series, we concentrated on the interior. I got all the wiring done, I got a lot of the modules done, and the majority of the electronics on the interior of the car are great. I managed to get the sunroof working and I managed to get the stereo, everything is working, and the new keys from my donor car are now working in this car, so I'm happy with that. However, for today, everything that I've done thus far would have been for no reason if I can't get the B58 engine. After all, that's the whole point of the series, is to get a B58 engine working in this car. And in this episode, I'll be dropping this engine from the 118i and I'll be fitting the B58. So let's get started. So guys, behind the scenes, we've been accumulating BMW F21 parts. If you see that and you know what that is, then you know. But I've been accumulating parts all over the gaff. This is my B58 engine, which is getting into the car. And I took this one out of the breaker donor car, completed with this automatic transmission, and I know that this is going to work because the tunnel is exactly the same size, it's the same chassis. This gearbox is controlled primarily over the CAN network with wires, so this should be able to, once I fit this into the car and I wire everything up, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that it should work. Whilst this is off the car, before I fit it, I'll be swapping these springs out for some lowering springs. I picked up some eye-back lowering springs for the car, and this is going to go in as one complete unit. So before we get the car in and begin removing that engine and fitting this engine, there's a few modifications that I need to make. Like I said, I'll be swapping out these suspension struts, springs, etc, etc. But these are beefier suspension struts. So if you look here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 mounting points, whereas the 118 has only got 4 mounting points. So there's 2 extra holes that I need to drill into that chassis to receive these beefier M140 struts. So I'm gonna make a little template and then I'll put it down and then we can drill the chassis and get that all ready. Alright you guys, so that was not hard at all. This is the busted 118i engine, complete subframe, everything is out. We're going to have a bit of noise coming from the compressor, so I'm not going to stay too long. Time to get that out of there. I need to do some bits there, sort out some wiring first, and then I'll be putting that unit into this car. The tunnel is exactly the same, everything is exactly the same, and as you can see, I've taken it out with the engine and that manual gearbox. I'll show it to you a little bit better. There's that manual gearbox with the linkage that led into the car. So all of that is coming out. It's just full of oil. Like literally, I'm just upgrading this car to the best that I can, and I'm sure that it's going to be 10 times better than it was before. But anyway, no more talking, no more noise. Let's continue. Alright guys, so I'm working away, I'm making great progress. I've gone ahead and I've replaced some of those plastics up there. I've rerouted this part of the wiring loom. Everything's looking good. What I've noticed is on the M140, all the brake lines to the rear and the fuel lines are on this side. However, on this car, they're splitting. So I will be removing all of this. I'll be removing the fuel tank. I've got everything, and I'm just gonna reroute the M140 stuff because I know that it connects to the engine on this side as opposed to this side. But too much noise, let's continue.
I don't go right through, you know. I need a different part. Oh, I f***ed up already.
Don't break it.
Right.
Alrighty guys, so there you have it. This is the original BMW 118i 4-pot. You can see the 4 coil packs for the 4 cylinders. This is now out of the car. I'm gonna show you that in a little bit more detail in a second, but look what's in the car. We went ahead and we fitted this B58. Everything bolts up as it should because it's the same chassis like I've always been saying. But this is a beast of an engine, and you can see what I was mentioning earlier in the build. With the B58 in place, you just can't gain access to anything on that bulkhead. So with all of this done now, I'm eager to try to see if the car is going to crank. These are all the electronics for the M140. Everything's plugged in, everything is in. It should crank. It's not going to start because I need to change the fuel lines. And actually, shout out to two of my subscribers. What I've noticed here is I thought, and this is all about learning guys, I believe that it was the same fuel pump. I know it's the same fuel tank because I cross-referenced all the part numbers, but I thought it was the same fuel pump. However, this is the plug for the fuel pump and it doesn't fit. Just does not fit. And someone had commented in one of the previous videos, and this is why I love when you guys get involved and you've given me the insight that I needed. So instead of opening up this and changing the pump, I'm going to change the entire fuel cell. I need to drill one hole right here and also one hole right there. Once I drill the holes in the chassis right here, that should line up with the holes that are on the suspension struts, and I've got the bolts in the car. I'll bolt it all down and that should be good to go. Now have a look at the manual gearbox. You can hear it, and you can see this is the shifter that was in the car. I will be plugging that. There is a BMW plug that came from the M140. It's quite a tough, half plastic, half rubber plug that's gonna seal the hole that's left in the chassis. And that's the one that came from the M140. Like I said, this is further proof that everything is exactly the same. But I've got a gearbox for sale if anyone's interested, turbo for sale if anyone's interested, full suspension parts, ABS pump, the lot. This has to go. So I'm not even going to try to fix this engine. I'll strip it, strip all the bits that I can sell, all the ancillaries, and then I'll be dumping the rest of that. But guys, if I step back, the B58 is in the car. Guys, I am knackered and look at the state of me, but it's all worth it because the B58 engine is officially installed into the 118i. I don't know if it's gonna crank, I haven't attached the fueling system on the rear, but it should still crank. I went ahead and I sorted out all the controls, all the electronics, and I hooked up all the brakes, etc, etc. Let's see if it's gonna turn over. Come on. Oh, it's dead. Is that the problem? What's going on? Completely gone, huh? No power. Ah, what is going on? Guys, I'm getting nothing. No power, no juice, no ignition. What the hell, man? So guys, that was an epic fail. It's just gone 7 p.m. and I'm knackered. And I'm annoyed now because I've just, you heard it, it clicked and then nothing. I would hate to have done all of this for no reason. Whoa. Right, for now, I'm annoyed. I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna wrap up this episode here. I don't know what I'm gonna find. So I'm gonna go home, have a nice break, come back in the morning, hit it with some new energy, and hopefully we find the problem. Hopefully we get it started. So yeah, stay tuned. And I'm not even gonna talk no more. Like yeah. Keep it moving, guys. I'll see you in the next one.
We love the Beamers, the Benz, the Porsches. All of my fans, I know they're supporting. Style with nothing but look at us now. Whoever supporting, I'm making you proud. Whoever supporting, I'm making you proud. Salvage Nation, look at the squad. We're up in the foreign line, look at the car. Look at the car.